We were looking for an old Victorian to restore. We've looked all over Sacramento. We finally came upon this house and we knew instantly that we wanted to restore it, and it was in bad condition. I remember soon after we purchased it, my father came through and he looked at us and said, "What are you doing?" So we knew, and as you can see, it's turned out splendidly. So the original owner was Herman Winters. My wife Vickie did an extensive background check, and she got the house listed on the National Historic Registry. And so we found out that Herman was a German immigrant who had gone across or around the Cape, came in through San Francisco, came here. He actually had a nephew that had a store down in 2nd and M. So they both ran the store at 2nd and M during the late 1850s, and they were catering to the 49ers who were going up into the hills prospecting for gold. Herman became very wealthy. This is his retirement home. So he had this house started in 1885, and it was finished by 1890 when he and his second wife at the time, Effie Parks, they actually moved into the house. And they lived here until he passed away in 1904. And then in 1907, Effie actually had the house raised 3 feet. Sacramento used to flood. And so the first floor down below here was the flood floor. And so there was a door up front and a door in the back. And during the winter, you would open up those doors and just let the water flow through. The porch is a very long porch staircase that goes down to the front. And you would walk down to your rowboat, row into town, do your grocery shopping, go to work, do whatever, row back home, and then perch your boat up at the bottom of the stairs as a newel post, and then walk back up the stairs. In 1907, when they had finished building the levees and had raised downtown and everything, so it would no longer flood down here, that's when everybody was raising their house or building, putting in a basement. Here they raised the house 1.5 feet. The most challenging part, believe it or not, is not the actual physical aspect of doing the work. It's actually getting the permits, because we live in a historic district and this is a historic house. We have to go through preservation, design review, and the building department. My wife did a historical review and got the house listed on the National Historic Registry. So we had to, go into the old archives at the Sacramento History Archive area. And then we also got to meet the great-granddaughters of the original owner. And they came through, and they were in their 80s and 90s at the time. They loved what we had done with the house because they actually had been in the house when they were young girls. And yeah, we've been part of Preservation Sacramento, our local neighborhood, Boulevard Park Neighborhood Association. All of these organizations are very instrumental to preservation in the history of Sacramento. We need to preserve our history. It's something that you should always try to keep. And the other thing too is it's good for the environment to keep renewing the existing housing, because this way you don't have to build a whole new thing with all new materials. Yes, it needs to be updated every once in a while, but you're using, barely, a tenth of the material that you would have to utilize to build something new.
Thanks for coming.